Laura Saikku iz Finske je z nami. Laura, hi, can you hear us?
Yeah? Yes, I can hear you well.
Yeah, all well. Laura je vodja projekta Live IP Canemure z Finske, sorodnega projekta, kot ga imamo tukaj v Sloveniji. So Laura, thank you very much for joining us, and I'm giving the floor to you so to share with us what you're working on in Finland. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for inviting me, and I hope our project can motivate you all a bit. So I'm going to tell you about our project Canemure. So carbon neutral municipalities and regions. So I will tell you some learnings and impact from networking in our project. So first, briefly the background. So our project is supporting municipalities' climate work, basically, and this is done through forerunner municipalities network, then through regional coordination of climate action, and an expert platform to provide tools and services. Then half of the budget goes to different concrete implementation actions. And our funding comes from Life Integrated projects. It's around 15 million, and it's now in a halfway, so to speak. And our aim, overall aim, is to implement Finnish climate policies. So we have concrete actions at very various sectors, from transport to energy. But today I will talk about, I will concentrate on networking and mostly what we at Finnish Environment Institute do. We have 20 different partners doing very impactful climate work, and during 3 years we have done a lot of things. So in next 15 minutes I won't cover it all, but give you a glimpse of the climate work we do. So first, just very briefly to start where we are at in Finland. So during the past 15 years, we've been able to reduce our emissions by some 1/3. But our aim to reach carbon neutrality by 2035 is quite ambitious. So we have still a lot to do regarding emissions, but also at the land use sector, which I won't go into much detail today. But regarding emissions, the transportation emissions are difficult to force down. Also agriculture and heating, still there is a lot to do. And we aim to also grab these issues through our project. The project started, we started to think about what to apply. We had good experiences from this forerunner municipalities networks that started already 10 years ago. So during the past 3 years that our LIFE project has been ongoing, the number of municipalities that have joined the network has now basically doubled, and this network run with a very low budget. So this LIFE was an opportunity to boost this network as well. And Finnish Environmental Institute coordinates this network, but also supports it with different kind of expert services. And now with this LIFE project, we've been able to also cover all the municipalities in Finland with these services. But basically what this network of municipalities is about, the main idea is that the municipalities make a commitment to reduce their emissions by 80% by 2030 from 2007 emission levels. And the commitment is made at a high level with the decision by a municipal council. And at the same time, the municipalities need to appoint a contact point and a working group with tasks such as making a plan for mitigating emission. So this network gives structure for the municipalities' climate work. And this minus 80% emission reduction is targeted towards reductions in electricity, heating, and transportation, agriculture, and waste management. So this industry under the EU ETS is basically excluded. And these emissions have reduced by 37% now. So they are these municipalities are on track towards their target, but lacking a bit behind still if looking at merely linear development. And when we started this live project, we wanted to ask whether this kind of network can actually lead to emission reductions. So we used this statistical model with a large set of exogenous variables included. And I won't go in much detail, but we found a statistically significant and a relationship between the emission reductions and being a forerunner municipality in this network. So just because they joined the network had led to emission reductions. And why was this? All the municipalities, they do a lot of climate work in Finland, but through these networks, we interviewed 40 municipalities in this network at the time, basically all that had joined. So they found motivation and inspiration. They attained peer support. They felt that this expert support the Finnish Environment Institute had given them was important. They also used some other consultancies. They found support from different projects or new recruitments they made after they had joined the network. And as they joined the network, they found that it was easier for the officials in the municipalities to justify different investments in the municipalities, because they could say that now, as we are a member, we need to do climate action. Municipalities found also positive PR image, and they got some communicational support by the network. And it was also easier for them to activate different actors outside the organization. And most experienced that this network had really had an impact on concrete actions, or at least at that point on the decision-making processes. And the most successful municipalities with regards to reducing their emissions, they found a few factors. So for effective climate action, they need to put climate action as part of the municipal strategies and plans. The responsibilities were shared across the municipal organization. They had enough human resources targeted for the climate work. They were able to activate stakeholders. They had put an annual budget for climate work. They had made projects to carry out measures. They were monitoring impacts, sharing experiences, and also utilizing expert support from outside the organization. So then I'll move on to talk about a little bit of regional climate work, what we have done in our projects. So the largest individual action in our Canemure project is the regional coordination to support climate work at the regional level and to activate different actors. And 7 regions are included in our project. There are municipal councils or some applied universities that take the coordination responsibility in our project. And with the expert platform, we do a lot of close cooperation in the project. But these regions, they support the cooperation between the key actors at the area. They monitor the effectiveness of the measures taken, and they make a plan for climate actions in a form of a climate roadmap. So basically the first 2 or 3 years in the project, they were activating different organizations in the area, such as municipalities or companies related to energy and transport, also building owners, agricultural instances, and together with all these actors, they made a plan for the forthcoming years, most region up to 2030 or 2035. So we put together all the experiences here about the process of making this kind of roadmaps that guide the future climate work in a systematic way. So first, we together with experts, we took a look at the current situation, so determined current emissions, then collected data from municipalities about their current plans, what they're about to do, and then found out what still needs to be done as an emission gap. Also, the national plans were considered in this project, like national programs and legislation, and how would they influence emissions. So together with these most important actors gathered in a working group, the different interests for themes of emission reduction were determined. And then these first versions were commented and circulated for statements, and the measures were chosen. And then the next phase, the measures are implemented, or even more detailed action plans are made. For implementation, the regional coordinators now try to put forward different projects, engage actors, and communicate on the climate issues around the regions. And then next, will be monitoring of the impacts, of course. So this is what has been now going on at our regional work. And from the regional coordination of climate work was found that there is a strong commitment and willingness for climate actions in the regions, especially the networks at the national and regional level are working very well. But there are some drawbacks, like the poor economic situation of the municipalities, their lack of resources, and also a lack of authority, like an environmental secretary may be responsible of all the climate work, but does not have really authority to carry on the measures. And then it has been found difficult to justify the measures that will take years to yield benefits. Or there are also some very sensitive actions that are politically difficult to implement. But as opportunities, this EU Green Deal funding has now seen a really very important, and there are also substantial legislative updates going on in Finland, like a Climate Change Act. So for this effective climate action, what was outlined in the regional roadmaps, we collected all these experiences together and evaluated them with a very wide expert panel. And we put all these most impactful measures and emission reduction tasks in this kind of exemplar tables. And we have produced this report in Finnish, and now it's forthcoming also in English during this summer after translation. But here is just a glimpse. So the most impactful thing is to do very impactful measures. So we wanted to also show the effectiveness of these measures evaluated by experts. And just briefly, what things we wanted to enhance. So we first wanted to replace fossils with clean energy production for electrical, heating, and gas networks. So we have there clean energy production capacity, such as wind power and heat pumps, and measures are needed to direct it towards them. For instance, there are a lot of wind power production plans going on in Finland at the moment. Another very important thing to direct these scarce resources is energy efficiency measures in these networks, like investments in the utilization of waste heat, such as constructing geothermal heating plants for district heating networks. Biogas investments is now very topical to replace also natural gas, and these plants are constructed in many towns in Finland. Then another major topic is decentralized energy production and energy efficiency of buildings, and the main issues are clean energy production capacity increment, such as with heat pumps and solar energy investments, then improving energy efficiency, and then promoting spatial efficiency. And exemplar solutions are various. I won't go now into the detail, but in our Canemure sub-project at Lahti, there have been several energy renovations being implemented. For instance, smart heating control systems with artificial intelligence, and then also wastewater heating recovery system. Regarding transport, we need to significantly improve the service level of public transport, ensure a dense urban structure, and electrifying of transportation. Examples include share use of bicycles, also supported in the Canemure project at Hyvinkää city, and the city bikes are currently very popular in at least in the biggest cities of Finland. Sustainable travel chains are promoted in the Canemure sub-project at Tampere. So there we improve conditions for public transport with sustainable travel chains, including, for instance, bike and train or bike and bus. Other examples from transport sector include electrifying, and some cities have purchased electric vehicles for their employees, work-related travel, but also rent out these vehicles for local residents in the evenings and on weekends. And then also assessing climate impacts of the urban structure already in the planning phase is very important. For instance, City of Tampere has made a tool for these kind of assessments. In our expert platform at the Canemure project, what we have done now so far, we find it very important to support local level actors to identify their emissions set goals and targets as seen before, like in these roadmap processes, but also track the progress of different measures and at the municipal level. We need to also find the most impactful emission reduction measures. And for that, we have now created this emission database that includes emissions for all the Finnish municipalities calculated now since 2005. We have indicators available at our website. We made a scenario tool for evaluating and planning climate roadmaps of municipalities, including a lot of data and information on different sectors. We have evaluated the potential and cost of renewable energy investment. We have several calculators for energy investments available at our sites. We have database sustainability leap that includes good examples from all over Finland to encourage others and enhance peer learning and communicate on all these activities we do. We have also information on funding instruments and open calls available at our website. So to conclude, climate efforts occur at the local level. So obviously input from local and regional actors is needed. It's crucial to concentrate on most impactful measures and thus know what they are and monitor the progress. And as we found out, networking enhances peer learning and motivation.